Welcome to KetoMealsAndRecipes.com. Today I will show you how easy and how quickly you can make this versatile Korean side dish. In this video tutorial, I will demonstrate the simplified version of my adaptation of this Korean kimchi fried cauliflower rice. Before getting into the main part of this demonstration, I just want to mention that you will need to make my Keto Gochujang BBQ Sauce, which is also called hot Korean barbecue sauce. By the way, this is a key ingredient in many Korean recipes. This gochujang barbecue sauce will only take you a few minutes to make, and it will last for several weeks if you store it in an airtight container in your refrigerator, so make extra. If you're wondering what else you can make with the extra gochujang barbecue sauce, these are a few of my already posted keto Korean recipes. This is my spicy pork bulgogi, which also can be called Keto Korean Pork Barbecue. This one is my Keto Beef Bulgogi. This time it's a Keto Korean Beef Barbecue. And for chicken lovers, this spicy Korean barbecue chicken wings recipe, which can also be called Keto Gochujang Barbecue Wings. If you're new to my channel, a warm welcome. I would like to mention that I always post all the links to mentioned videos and the links to my written and printable recipe in the description below. But I hope that you'll take the time and watch the entire video, because as I'm making this recipe, I do share with you some handy tips and provide explanations so that you can better understand the whys and the hows of the recipe. This tasty kimchi fried cauliflower rice has a macronutrient ratio of 2.8 to 1, with 5 grams of total carbs, 1.2 grams of soluble fiber, 1 gram of insoluble fiber, resulting in 2.8 grams of net carbs per about 103 grams serving. Here are the few ingredients you will need for this recipe. Beside the gochujang barbecue sauce, you will also need to prepare your cauliflower rice, but this time, if you can, make it a rough chop. Then weigh your cauliflower rice. I would highly recommend you use a scale and measure either in grams or ounces, not just cups, because when you're using a cup, you'll most definitely get different weights, and the difference will affect your macros, as well as in some cases, especially baking, it affects your overall recipe. Once you have prepared and weighed your cauliflower rice, just set it aside for a moment. Next, get your kimchi and drain it, and you do this by placing a sieve over a bowl. And I find it best to use my hands to squeeze out as much of the liquid as I can. You will need about 1/4 cup of this liquid, so don't discard it. After draining all the kimchi, squeeze it together and roll it into a tube shape and chop it into small pieces. First cut along the length of the roll, and then also cut all these small sections perpendicular to the original cuts so that each piece is very small and no thicker than the width of a fork. Okay, we're about ready to start cooking, so let's get the pan. For the pan, you can either use a wok or a deep-sided frying pan. Place a wok or a deep-sided frying pan over medium heat, and before doing anything more, preheat the pan or wok. At this point, add the oil, and when the oil is starting to sizzle, add the gochujang barbecue paste. Stir until the oil and the gochujang are well combined. Continue cooking for about 1 minute, or until you can smell the wonderful gochujang aroma. At this point, pour in the kimchi juice. Stir well until the juice or brine is combined with the oil mixture. Then also pour in the water, stir well, and this will make a lovely sauce base. Add the chopped kimchi to the pot, toss, and cook for about 1 minute. I wish you were standing here beside me so you could smell this sweet, spicy aroma. Now it's time to toss in the cauliflower rice. Using a spatula, fold the cauliflower rice from the bottom and bringing it to the top. In this way, you'll make sure to coat all the cauliflower rice in the kimchi sauce. I just want to mention this recipe is a bit spicy hot because of the gochujang, but it's extremely delicious and adds so much flavor to your cauliflower rice, and it has a true Korean flavor. And then when the cauliflower rice is well coated, cover the wok or your pan with a lid and let everything steam for about 5 minutes. This will cook the cauliflower rice. After the 5 minutes, just remove the lid. and toss from the bottom up again as you finish stir-frying the kimchi cauliflower rice to an al dente stage, meaning that it's still a little bit crispy. This should take about 2 to 3 minutes. I'd like to caution you not to overcook. You don't want a soft, mushy texture for this Korean kimchi fried cauliflower rice. You really do want it al dente, because by not overcooking it, it will have a true rice texture and mouthfeel. Now that this amazing kimchi fried cauliflower rice is done, immediately transfer everything out of the hot pan and onto a serving platter. By transferring everything to a cold platter, this will stop the cauliflower rice from overcooking. And this is how I have adapted this classic Korean fried rice recipe. One last thing, to complete the beautiful serving presentation, as Korean people are noted for, and to make a nice contrast between the beautiful bright red color, you can do this optional step, which is to garnish with a sprinkle of small strips of roasted nori and roughly chopped cilantro. Now, doesn't this Korean kimchi fried cauliflower rice look absolutely beautiful? And I'd like to mention, it's a fabulous change of pace when you want to use cauliflower rice but don't want the same old recipe. And now I'm going to serve it and enjoy it. If you like this recipe, please come back when I post 2 more video recipe tutorials which will feature the Korean kimchi fried cauliflower rice. With the next 2 videos, I'll show you how to turn this recipe into a one-pot full meal. Thank you very much for watching my tutorial. Because of the many innovations that YouTube has engaged in, many of my subscribers are not getting their notifications, so please make sure that you are still subscribed and turn on your notification bell, scroll down to all, and then you'll be sure to be notified when I post my next videos. And I really appreciate it if you do that because it supports my channel. Before ending, I just want to mention that I really love making Korean and other international recipes. And I hope that this side dish recipe and provides some variety to your keto or low-carb lifestyle. Until next time, have a happy and healthy day. Cheers!